Good morning. So, we have finished chapter 1, lessons 1 and 2, and we are now on lesson 3, the agricultural revolution. On this lesson, we see how societies are starting to form. We see how people are moving away from the nomadic life and discovering agriculture and sustainability, and also learning about their effects on the environment, on the human effects on the environment. So what I'd like to do is, it's going to be a little bit longer because I want you to read it and then we're going to do it together. I would like for you to pause this video, right? And I would like for you, let me start over again, is I'm going to have you read the pages and then we're going to do the work together. Remember in our last video how I said as you find the questions, go through and read it this way? I would rather do more of a close reading strategy with this lesson because things start really taking off for societies at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video. You're going to read pages 22 through, 22 through 30, 29. 22 to 29. And if you would like, I did read this for you. I barely got all the words in on the video, so you don't have any that you have to read by yourself. But the other video on this slide, right now you could play that video and follow along as I read it for you. Again, if I read too fast, you're more than welcome to slow the video down. Okay, are we done? Have we read pages 22 to 29? Awesome. Okay, so the assignment that we're doing today is called the Agricultural Revolution. It looks like this. I've copied and pasted it onto a document so that I can work on it. I'm sorry. Try it again. It looks like this. I have copied and pasted it onto my own document so that I can actually type on it. So I'm going to skip over to my document, which looks the same. I'd like to go through, first of all, people in various parts of the world began planting different kinds of foods and crops. Complete the chart with examples of food grown in each region. This is really explicit. It's a level 1 question. You could find actually lists of food. I believe it's on page 20. It's right here. On page 23 and 24, I think, is where it gets started on the Neolithic communities. So I don't want to help you with this question because it's super easy as long as you do the reading. I'd like to go down to the inferring because we have an inferring and a civics question. And both of these, where it says answer here, right now you can write this for yourself. Both of these are eight questions. So remember, we need an answer, and then we have to prove our answer with evidence from the text, and then we have to explain our proof. So I'd like to do these together more than, or do one of these together and let you do the other by yourself. So the question is, why did people in Neolithic communities build permanent homes? I would like for you to pause this video. I would like for you to go back. You've already read it through one time, so you should be pretty familiar with where everything is. This is why I wanted you to read it before we did it. I want you to find the area that talks, the section that talks about Neolithic communities building permanent homes. And I want you to get there, put your finger there, and then hit play. Are you ready? So go find why people in, go find the section that talks about Neolithic communities building permanent homes, and then hit play. Got it? All right. So you should have found page 24. The last 2 paragraphs, the last 3 paragraphs. I forgot about the little tiny paragraph. I'm going to hold it up for you. It's right here. And I'm going to use our online page. Let me pull that up really quickly. Okay, if we pull up the student edition and we go to the picture and I scroll down, above it, right above it. It says, during the Neolithic age, people settled in villages where they built permanent homes. They located villages near fields so people could plant, grow, and harvest their crops more easily. People also settled near water sources, especially rivers. It doesn't actually say exactly, this isn't a level 1 question. I can't touch this answer. It doesn't say why people in communities built permanent homes. But it does say what they used it for. So if we skip back, let me read it one more time. During the Neolithic age, people settled in villages where they built permanent homes. They located villages near fields so people could plant, grow, and harvest their crops more easily. People also settled near water sources, especially rivers. So, why do you think, based on these simple 3 sentences, why did people build permanent homes for the first time ever? So the idea of permanence means that they're going to stay there, which means if they're willing to stay somewhere, that means that wherever it is has what they need to survive, right? And so let's back it up. What did they need to survive? This is the same thing all societies need to survive, right? Food, safety, food, water, safety, shelter, yeah? Okay, so let's go back to our answer, and our answer is, why would they have built permanent homes? And remember, we're going to use words and phrases from our answer in order, words and phrases from our question in order to formulate our answer. That way we keep as much academic vocabulary as possible in our answer to step it up. So we would say people in Neolithic communities built permanent homes because there were locations that had everything they needed to survive. Right? That before they were nomadic because they went from place to place because that was what was necessary for survival. Now they can stay in one place because they have everything they need to survive. Well, what did they need to survive? They need food, and they've taken care of that through the agricultural revolution, right? They needed water, which is why most of these cities, and it says on the next paragraph, let me come over there so you can see it too. On the very next paragraph, it says most of these places were close to, it says it up here. Most people settled near water sources, especially rivers. Most of these communities were by rivers. So we need to include that in our answer. First we have our answer, now we need evidence. Our evidence is, what did they need to survive? I want you to find the evidence that shows that the one location had everything they needed to survive. And I want you to write it on the next area. So I'll get you started. According to, right now let's just stick with pages. Page 24. I do better with this screen than over the book. Permanent homes were located close to, let me move that over, close to fields to plant, right? And water sources. So I can include that. Fields to plant. Permanent homes were also close to water sources. Do I have 2 pieces of evidence as to why they would put their location in the village? Food and water were the 2 reasons, so I'm set with my evidence. Now all I need to do is explain how these are important. So wrap it up on your own with at least one more sentence explaining your evidence, which is permanent homes were located close to fields to plant. Permanent homes were also close to water sources. So all you have to do is explain why is it important for you to live in a house that's close to fields and water if you are living in the Neolithic era. Go ahead and pause this video and do that right now. Okay, so in the same way that we just aped that question, your civics question is going to be done exactly the same way. And as you read the pages 22 to 29, lesson 3, pay attention to the developments that take place, because we got a lot of the background, but once the agricultural revolution takes place, that is the time in human history when things really kick off. It's a massively major shift. You can see some of the beginnings of the societies that we have today are beginning to form at this point. So it's kind of, things start kicking off, and it even throws it back to what we're also doing in English class. I don't know if you noticed it in the reading with the monarchy. Did you notice it? Government, tying everything together. The two tables that you have to do, I want to hit those before I hit pause. So you have to do this table, which we talked about with food grown. That's super easy, you guys. And then the other one is you need to find, and it says, during the Bronze Age, civilizations began to develop, and all of these civilizations shared characteristics. Complete the chart with details to illustrate each characteristic. It says possibly on the next page, because once you start typing, everything gets moved around. And so right now it is on the next page, but once you start typing, all of that should be on the next page. And I'm going to go to that section because that section is pages 28 and 29. And I just want to tell you, I just want to tell you the details. Be really careful and don't just pick any detail. Remember, these are key details, almost like central idea of the paragraph, maybe. I want you to take the entire paragraph and put it in one detail as much as you can. So what do you think is the most important things? So I'm going to do, I'll do the first one, cities and government. I want to do that one together. So if I read cities and government, and please turn to page 28 and follow along while I do this, and I need to hurry. One characteristic of these early civilizations is that they developed cities and formed governments. I'm actually going to pause this video so that I don't waste time. I want you to read the 2 paragraphs about cities and governments by yourself, okay? Okay, are you finished? Do we have the paragraphs read? So what is the detail? Remember, complete the charts with details to illustrate the characteristics. So you're going to think, with details, you're going to think like purpose. Why did they do it? And what did it accomplish? So with cities and governments, what was the purpose? And it should have said it at the very beginning of the second paragraph that you read. Do you see it? People formed governments in order to, yeah. And so they were protecting 2 things, and then that would be exactly what I would write, because I can only write a couple things. I might include also that the first were monarchs. So I would say to protect food and people, and the first were monarchs, because that would be probably the most important details of cities and governments. I hope that helps. And you're going to do religions, social structures, and writing and art by yourself. And I look forward to seeing you in class. Have a great day. Bye, everybody.